I've always thought Galvantula was an underrated Pokemon. It has an extremely unique typing, with the only other bug electric type being Vikavolt, and pretty solid stats with a base stat total of 472. Its move pool is also complex and allows the spider to capitalize on its strengths. Access to moves like Electro Web, which always lower the opponent's speed, and Electro Ball, which does damage based on the difference in speed, means that Galvantula can take advantage of its relatively high value in this stat. Additionally, the Elesa Spider Pokemon is a special attacker, so moves like Bug Buzz, which can lower the opponent's special defense, and Charge Beam, which could boost the attacker's special attack, makes this mon all the more deadly. Also, if we're thinking outside the context of these runs, it's easily pivotable with access to Volt Switch. This will be the first run I'm attempting with a special attacker, so I'm really excited to see how Galvantula stacks up against the physical attackers we've used up to this point. Here are the rules for this run, and I decided from this point on I'll always use Pokemon with perfect IVs and a neutral nature. This will make these runs more consistent, so we'll be able to compare times more appropriately. Fun fact, 3 of my last 4 runs we had Pokemon with negative attack natures, which obviously made things more difficult. With that said, let's see how this goes. I get my Galvantula and name him Charlotte. Yeah, I know he's a boy. Did I stutter? The only attacking move we currently have access to is Leech Life, and this was before the crazy buff the move got in Gen 7, so we're talking about a base power of 20. Luckily at level 7 we learned Screech, which will help increase our damage output. Take this battle with Bianca for example, where even after 2 Screeches her Lillipup doesn't go down. Now imagine how grueling this battle would be if we didn't have the move. We might not even be able to win. Usually I skip as many trainers as possible leading up to the first gym, but I actually battled all of them since I at least needed to get to level 12 and learn Fury Cutter before I'd be able to beat Silent. At level 11 I entered the gym, hoping that the gym trainers would give me enough EXP to level up before the leader. Against the first one I start with Screech and get leered in return. Leech Life looks like it'll be a 4-hit kill, while Lillipup's Tackle is gonna do me in with only 3 hits. Next turn I paralyze the pup and hope that it gets fully paralyzed at least once, which it does. Now I go for a second Screech to make this easier, but a critical hit tackle kills Galvantula. In hindsight I should have just used Leech Life to get my HP over 24 so I'd be out of crit range, but hey, you live and you learn, right? I spent some time grinding up to level 12 and was pretty easily able to make my way past both gym trainers, so without further ado, here's my battle with Silent. I open with Thunder Wave against Lillipup, who I know is going to use Workup. I Screech as another Workup comes out, and now it's time to pile on the damage. After my first Fury Cutter, Silent greedily goes for a third Workup, meaning this is the end of his first mon. Since Fury Cutter's power doubles each turn, at a base of 40, it's a guaranteed kill on the dog, and Pansage comes in. At base 80 power, the super effective bug type attack takes the chimp down, and we finally get our first badge. So far, this run definitely isn't looking to be particularly speedy. The Sharon battle on Route 3 goes smoothly, and so does my battle with N in Nacrene City, where we beat him damageless. At level 20, Charlotte has now picked up Electro Web and Bug Bite, so I'm feeling pretty confident that I can take down Lenora. I open with Thunder Wave against Herdier, but Takedown does more damage than I'd like it to, so I need to hope for some full paras here. Unfortunately, Herdier brings me down to 8 HP before I take it out with a pair of Electro Webs, so Watchog has no trouble breaking through Paralysis and killing Galvantula with Retaliate. Here's where I realized something extremely important about Generation 5. It was not built with special attackers in mind. It's no secret that Lenora is one of the pain points of these solo runs. Herdier's Intimidate and Watchog's Retaliate are a recipe for losses, and honestly some of the wins I get in this battle are more due to bad AI than my Pokemon's capabilities. Grinding to a point where we can reliably survive at least one takedown and retaliate just isn't viable from a time perspective, so we always need to take a chance. However, I can usually do some good EV training and attack since both Lillipup and Pidove have a yield of 1. The earliest occurrence of a Pokemon giving special attack EVs is Petalil, which can be found in the inner Pinwheel Forest and only in Pokemon White. Unfortunately, you can't access this area until after Lenora is beaten since it's blocked off by Team Plasma. In Pokemon Black, which this run is in, the earliest I can get special attack EVs is from Sigilif in the Desert Resort. This isn't until right before the 4th gym, so we're out of luck. The only thing I can think to do is grind my levels and throw away Galvantula's future potential by loading it up with attack EVs and relying on Bug Bite. I actually realized I also should have kept Screech, so I made the decision it would be alright if I did a little tampering to get the move back in Galvantula's moveset here. I don't think it changes anything really, so I'm comfortable with it, but wanted to be transparent. Now at level 24, with an emphasis on my attack stat, I go back in to challenge Lenora. To counteract Intimidate, I open with Screech, effectively making my attack +1 against Herdier. After a Leer, Bug Bite just isn't enough to take a KO, so I end up getting Leered a second time. The leader heals her Pokemon, but it doesn't matter since we take it out with Bug Bites from here. Even though we're at full health, our defense is -2 and our attack is -1, so Watchog is pretty scary. I hold my breath as I click Screech, and in a stroke of luck, Lenora uses Leer instead of Retaliate, which definitely would have killed me. Bug Bite does around 75%, and now Retaliate comes out, but it doesn't get its 2x power boost since it wasn't used the turn after Herdier fainted. We're able to hang on with 29 HP and finish this battle off with one last Bug Bite. With Lenora finally beaten, we can move through Pinwheel Forest and square off against Burgh and his bugs. The artist opens with Whirlipede, who has Poison Tail, so just to avoid any unfortunate poisoning, I gave Charlotte a Petra Berry to hold. After an Electro Web, we're met with Pursuit, which does virtually no damage, and we take the first Pokemon out with a second web. Next is Dwebble, who goes down to 2 Bug Bites and only manages to throw out a Sand Attack in between. As a Grass Bug type, Burgh's Ace Levani is weak to Bug Bite, but we miss our first because of the accuracy drop. After a String Shot, the leader gets annoying with a Protect before we land our first bite for around 75%. Our speed gets lowered for a second time, so Levani connects Struggle Bug next turn, but it doesn't do much, and we're able to win this battle with one more super effective attack. We were due for an easy gym. After picking up Rest from the hiker in one of the Castelia City buildings, we have to battle Bianca and Sharon, but neither battle was that interesting. Next, I make sure to go to Desert Resort to pick up the rare candy here and fight the Ranger for the Rossberry we'll need for the Elite Four. Now we take a Ferris wheel ride with N, and after he reveals himself to be Team Plasma's king, we jump into battle. Sandile is no issue as a super effective Bug Bite takes it down, but then N sends out Darumaka. It manages to survive an Electro Web and crack Galvantula with a Fire Punch for just over 60 damage. We outspeed, so I'm not too worried as we kill the Fire type with an Electro Ball next turn. N's last 2 Pokemon, Scraggy and Sigilift, also die to Electro Balls, so we're all clear to challenge the next pain point in these runs, Elesa. I thought this fight would be easy. The Emolgas won't go for Volt Switch like usual because it's not very effective, but I did forget her Zebstrika has Flame Charge. Turn 1, I Electro Web the Flying Mouse for 75% as it uses Aerial Ace for a bit of my health. However, next turn she hard swaps into Zebstrika, whose Lightning Rod absorbs my attack and boosts the Zebra's special attack. Bug Bite does do over half, so one more will kill, but after a Flame Charge, Zebstrika is faster than us. Another brings us into the red as we KO Elisa's Ace, but she still has 2 Emolgas we need to deal with. She sends in the fresh one, and after Electro Ball isn't strong enough to kill, we lose the battle to an Aerial Ace. So even when I have an electric type Elesa isn't easy, let's try again with a new strategy. I don't want her to hard swap to Zebstrika, so let's see if I can take the Emolgas out with the not very effective Bug Bite. After I see that it does about a third, I decide to go for Screech so I can get the kill next turn. Even though I take 2 Aerial Aces, it isn't that bad, but of course I get staticked. Elesa goes straight to Zebstrika next, but decides to open with Quick Attack instead of Flame Charge as I get a Screech off. Next turn we survive Flame Charge, but get fully paralyzed before we're able to connect Bug Bite. Then we die to 1 more, so there's another loss. I was adamant about being able to beat her without grinding, so I went in for one last attempt. Her AI will never hard swap turn 1, so this allowed me to open with Electro Ball, which obviously does more damage than the not very effective Bug Bite. I got lucky that Emolga's weakest move, Pursuit, was used, and now to cover for the switch, I used Screech. She stayed in and used Aerial Ace, so I did waste a little HP because I think I could have just KO'd with Bug Bite. Regardless, Zebstrika is next, but now that we aren't paralyzed, we have a chance. I Screech the Zebra as it uses Flame Charge, bringing Charlotte down to half health. Next turn it outspeeds, so we go down to the red, but with nothing stopping our attack, we're able to drop Elisa's Ace in 1 hit. We outspeed her last Emolga, so after Electro Ball it lands Aerial Ace, but we survive on 3 HP. From here it's a Super Potion, but a critical hit Electro Web is all it takes to finally bring this one home. See, I knew we could do it. I run over to Route 16 for the rare candy behind the cut tree and then have another very uneventful battle with Sharon. Honestly, Galvantula's typing is just the perfect counter to the rival battles in this game, so none of them gave me any issues. I'll show the last two later on so you can see what I mean. We move on to Driftfield, and cold storage is a thing that happens. I decide to test out if we have enough power to beat Clay at level 36, but I'm honestly already doubtful. I can't use electric moves on any of his Pokemon, but Excadrill also resists bugs, so I don't really have anything for it. Krokorok goes down easy to Bug Bite, but then Excadrill comes in and bulldozes twice while I Screech. Since the mole now outspeeds, it finishes Galvantula off with a slash before I have the opportunity to launch an attack of my own. From my damage calcs, I know I can't beat Excadrill at this level without it being at -4 defense, so with a heavy heart, it looks like I need to grind again. At level 40, Galvantula learns Agility, which is exactly what we need to get through this fight, but I did need to get rid of Electro Ball for it. Instead of opening by outright killing Krokorok, I use Agility to get to +2 speed as its Bulldoze knocks me down one stage. However, now that I can kill at +1, I'll be able to outspeed Excadrill for 3 turns instead of just 2. I wasn't sure if Bug Bite would be a 2-shot at -2 defense, but after a Screech and Bulldoze, I decided to go for it. We did over 50%, so next turn I fire off one more for a knockout, leaving Clay with only his Palpitoad. My first Bug Bite takes the Water Ground type down to the yellow as it sets up Aqua Ring. Now that I'm in the clear, we bite down on the Tadpole thing for the last kill. I guess Agility actually wasn't necessary here, but whatever, I thought I needed it. As we're about to exit Chargestone Cave, we're face to face with N for another battle. I Screech his Bulldor as it uses Iron Defense, so turn 1 is a wash. I decide to just go for damage next as Bug Bite does more than expected, and now the pile of rocks is at +2 defense. Since another Bug Bite won't kill, I decide to Screech again this turn, and I'm hit with the super effective Smackdown, which does a decent chunk of damage. However, next turn we get a Bug Bite kill, and then our Prevo comes in. Easy come, easy go as it can't survive a Bug Bite, and now I finally don't need to worry about Ferroseed's Iron Bombs. Although it's resisted, I use Electro Webs to get the kill so I don't take residual damage. All N did was set up a useless Iron Defense and hit a not very effective Metal Claw, so we're looking good. Last is Clink, but the gears die to a single Electro Web, so we're free to move on. Before challenging Skyla, I replace Electro Web with Volt Switch to increase our damage output. Obviously, this move will swap Galvantula out if there are any other Pokemon in my party, but since this is a solo run, I don't really have that problem. I think you can imagine how this one goes. Yeah, a clean sweep. Now we body Sharon again and sprint through Twist Mountain to challenge Bryson and his ice types. I replaced Bug Bite with X-Scissor before this fight, and I think Bryson is consistently the easiest gym leader in this game, so let's watch the massacre. First, Vanillish goes down to a single X-Scissor. When Beartic comes in, I use the weaker Volt Switch to avoid a heal as we're hit with Icicle Crash. Next turn, an X-Scissor gets the kill, and one more takes out his Cryogonal. Now I actually take some time to go through the optional routes 17 and 18 to get to the P2 laboratory. The real purpose of this building is to get the Dubious Disc so you could evolve your Porygon 2 into Porygon Z, but there's also the TM for Thunderbolt sitting in the corner of the island, which will be very useful for us with its 95 base power. After replacing Volt Switch, it's the usual Dragon Spiral Tower, Desert Resort, get the Light Stone, before we're faced with our final Bianca fight. She leads Stoutland with Intimidate, but we're able to take it out with 2 Thunderbolts as it works up in between. Emboar is the only Pokemon that's scary on either her or Sharon's teams, but Thunderbolt takes it low and gets the paralysis. It only hits a takedown before a few more T-Bolts drop the pig. Musharna actually survives X-Scissor, so it gets some damage on me with Psybeam, and after a second full restore from Bianca, it just takes 2 more to kill. Last is Simisage, but a super effective X-Scissor finishes this battle off. This rival battle actually had some action, but you can imagine that when her Pokemon weren't fully evolved and lower leveled, it was a breeze. Now we have our final gym battle against Dragon Master Drayden. I use Thunderbolt on Fracture to avoid a heal, and after Dragon Dance, I'm actually still faster, so we kill with one more. Druddigon comes out next, and because of Rough Skin, I stick to a T-Bolt here as Night Slash crits, but only does around a third of our health. Next turn, I opt to take the Rough Skin chip in exchange for an X-Scissor kill, leaving Drayden with only his Haxorus. An X-Scissor out of the gate does around 80% as Dragon Tail brings us into the red. No heal comes out from Drayden's side, so we're able to clean this one up with one last snip of the claws. Now I backtrack to Pinwheel Forest to grab the Silver Powder and Chargestone Cave for the Magnet while also picking up a few more rare candies. Before Victory Road, Sharon stops us on Route 11 for one last battle. Here's why I didn't show any of these fights until now. Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt, X-Scissor, X-Scissor, and that's all it takes to bring him down. Good luck on that dream of becoming the strongest, Sharon. After making it through Victory Road, I took some time to plan for the Elite Four and determined I'd actually need a pretty unexpected move, so I do my usual fly to Isserus City to grab the Heart Scale at Dragon Spiral Tower, and then to Miss Stralton for the move relearner. Were you expecting Sucker Punch to be on Galvantula's final moveset? I sure wasn't. Basically, to deal with Chantal's Golurk, our only option would be Bug Buzz, but it resists. I was looking for a way to do more damage, and Sucker Punch is the only move Galvantula is capable of learning that's super effective against the Ghost. When we factor in all the attack EVs it got early on, Sucker Punch is actually a 2-shot. As long as I don't get burned by Cofagrigus' Will-O-Wisp. I slap the Magnet on Galvantula, rare candy him up to level 60 where he learns Bug Buzz, and also teach him the TM for Charge Beam over Screech. With all the prep done, we're ready to take on the last few battles. I open with Charge Beam against Chantal's Cofagrigus to try to get the special attack boost, but unfortunately don't. Also, to make matters worse, she actually connects Will-O-Wisp, so now my Sucker Punch plan is out the window. A Magnet boosted Thunderbolt is enough to kill from this range, so now her Ace Chandelure hits the field. I outspeed for a Thunderbolt, but Fire Blast connects for a devastating kill. When running my damage calcs for this fight, I saw that Fire Blast just does way too much damage. There isn't a reasonable level I can get to that would help me survive, so my options are either to pray for a miss or make sure I can one-shot. I go right back in for attempt 2 and give Charlotte the Raspberry instead of Magnet. Charge Beam gives the boost this time, but of course Cofagrigus doesn't use Will-O-Wisp when I'm prepared for it. Shadow Ball does good damage and now Chandelure comes out, but I need to be at +1 and have the Magnet to get a one-shot here. Luckily I paralyzed the Chandelier and it can't attack. On Chantal's healing turn, I fish for another special attack boost and actually get it, so I kill the Chandelure with a third Charge Beam and manage to get to +3 special attack. Golurk is next, but at +3 I think Bug Buzz might be able to one-shot. It gets the Golem down to the red, and in retaliation its Earthquake brings me to 52 HP. Chantal uses a full restore, but 2 more Bug Buzzes take it down and Jellicent dies to a Thunderbolt. Good RNG on Charge Beam made it so that I didn't need to use Sucker Punch, but I'm not complaining with a win. Now on to Grimsley. I replace the Raspberry with the Magnet and start the fight with the Dark-type user. I start with a Charge Beam against Scrafty, who opts for Sand Attack in return. Next turn I kill with Thunderbolt to avoid a second accuracy drop, and then Crocodile comes in. Just as quickly as it enters, it leaves as a single Bug Buzz gets the kill and Bisharp comes out. This is where I was really hoping to get the special attack boost. My first T-Bolt actually misses because of the Sand Attack, so we eat a Night Slash for a third of our health. My next Thunderbolt connects and paralyzes the Steel Menace, but it's unfazed as another Night Slash rips into Galvantula. On the full restore turn, I use Charge Beam and manage to get my boost this time, so things are looking better. I kill with another and get to +2, but it doesn't really matter for Lipard. After a fake out, it dies to Bug Buzz, and that's another member down. The only switch for Caitlyn is giving Charlotte Silver Powder instead of the Magnet. Reuniclus dies to Bug Buzz, and then Sigilif comes out, who proceeds to get KO'd by a Thunderbolt. Masharna and Gothitelle also can't stand up to the Silver Powder boosted stab Bug Buzz, and Caitlyn yet again proves to be the weakest link of the Unova Elite Four. All that's left now is Marshall and his fighting types. This one is honestly pretty dangerous because all of his Pokemon have strong rock-type attacks which could do big damage to me even without crits. Thunderbolt hits Throw pretty hard, who opens with the usual Bulldoze. Next turn another gets the knockout and Sawk comes in. Since it has Sturdy anyway, I decide to use Charge Beam and get a boost, but then just like I feared, a Stone Edge crit ends our run. Time for an Elite Four reset. I decide to go into Chantal with the Magnet instead of the Raspberry this time, since at my higher level I should be able to one-shot Chandelure without having to worry about dodging Fire Blast. Charge Beam gets the boost and Cofagrigus uses Shadow Ball. So far so good. Now I kill with Thunderbolt and Chandelure goes down to the same. Since I'm only at +1 special attack, Sucker Punch is still my better move for Golurk, who almost dies to it and then connects Earthquake on Galvantula. I obviously can't Sucker Punch on the turn Chantal is using a full restore, so I Bug Buzz here and then next turn am able to take Golurk down with Sucker Punch. And just like last time, Jellicent dies to Thunderbolt. I'm just happy the way I drew this battle up actually came to pass this time around. This time against Grimsley, we get the Charge Beam boost off the bat and Scrafty hits us with Crunch. At +1, I thought a second would kill, but the Hoodlum Pokemon barely hangs on and uses a second Crunch. At least I got another boost. After the full restore, T-Bolt is a one-shot and Crocodile goes down to a single Bug Buzz again. This time we're buffed enough to KO Bisharp with a single Thunderbolt, and then Liepard gets its Fake Out off before dying to Bug Buzz. Caitlyn goes no different than last time, so let's jump straight to Marshall round 2. Thunderbolt isn't quite strong enough to KO Throw, but it actually uses Payback instead of Bulldoze this time. I Charge Beam on Marshall's full restore, getting the boost and killing next turn with Thunderbolt. Then I Charge Beam Sawk, and this time Stone Edge doesn't crit, so we hang on with 39 HP. Another full restore is used, so after Thunderbolt brings Sawk into sturdy range, I KO with Charge Beam and get to +2. From here, Kinkeldurr and Mienshao are both outsped and killed by Thunderbolt, so that does it for the Elite Four. After catching Reshiram, it's time for my patented switch to the Elemental Monkey for a death and clean swap against N. I Bug Buzz Zekrom and get the special defense drop, but in the worst possible turn of events, N opts for Light Screen. Interesting note, in Pokemon Black, N's Zekrom has Light Screen, while in White his Reshiram has Reflect. Had I just been playing White, I wouldn't have needed to worry about Light Screen. But I guess on the other hand, both of my stabs would have been resisted. Anyway, a second Bug Buzz kills Zekrom, but now the bane of my existence, Caracosta, comes in. I Charge Beam for good damage through Light Screen and get the boost, but a critical hit Stone Edge wipes us. If Zekrom uses Slash or Zen Headbutt, there isn't a level I can efficiently get to where Galvantula survives Caracosta's Stone Edge, crit or no crit. Also, the turtle has Sturdy, so I can't one-shot it, which means the most time-effective way to beat this game is to just wait for a miss. After running some endgame calcs, I determined level 68 will be where we really start to have a chance at a win, so I boost Galvantula with a few more rare candies. I also get rid of Sucker Punch since it's no longer necessary in place of Rest to deal with Ghetsis and his Cofagrigus is toxic. This time I open with Bug Buzz and Zekrom uses Fusion Bolt, so we're in the clear. A second Bug Buzz gets the kill, and here's Caracosta again. I Charge Beam and actually crit, bringing the turtle down to Sturdy and giving me a boost. Stone Edge connects, but because Zekrom used the not very effective Fusion Bolt, we actually survived the attack on 5 HP. N uses a full restore, and another Charge Beam from me gets Caracosta back to 1. This next part is embarrassing. I forgot to account for the priority move Aqua Jet as I mashed the A button on Charge Beam. Had I kept Sucker Punch, I could have actually guaranteed a kill here, but now it's back to the drawing board. And by drawing board, I mean literally change nothing and hope for a Stone Edge miss. 3 attempts later, it happened. I Charge Beamed and got the boost, and then Caracosta missed Stone Edge. And used a full restore, but 2 more Charge Beams got me to +2 special attack and finally dropped this turtle. Archeops was no issue as I outsped to kill with Thunderbolt, and then N actually used Zoroark's Illusion for the first time in any of my runs, but it still died to a single T-Bolt. It was more of the same for Klinklang and Vanillux since +2 and Magnet is pretty much unstoppable. Now it's just down to Ghetsis and we can clock this spider's time. Similar to Chantal, I open with Charge Beam and get my boost as Toxic comes out from Ghetsis' end. I decide to go for the immediate rest since I think Cofagrigus does the least damage out of all of his Pokemon. Unfortunately for me, Shadow Ball gets a special defense drop, and after a 2-turn sleep, I finally take Cofagrigus down, but I only have 10 HP left. Hydreigon is next, who dies to Bug Buzz, and Bisharp goes down to a Thunderbolt. When I see Electros is next, I decide to use a rest, but my brain must have literally been turned off because this thing has Flamethrower. It actually opts for the neutral acrobatics instead, and after 2 of those, a Flamethrower takes me out in my sleep. Alright, let's finish this thing off the right way. My opening Charge Beam gets a boost, and Cofagrigus actually misses Toxic, so now I don't even need to worry about resting. After a Protect, my second Charge Beam kills, and then Hydreigon and Bisharp both go down the same ways as last time. Electros is next, and I confirm I made a huge mistake since I could have just used a single Bug Buzz to get the kill. Then Bouffalant dies to a Thunderbolt, and Seismitoad goes down to Bug Buzz, thus ending the run. I had high hopes for Galvantula since its move pool allows for different builds, but the game's limitation on special attack EVs definitely made things difficult. Lenora and Elesa continue to prove that they're two of the biggest pain points in these runs, so if a Pokemon has a means of beating them without grinding, they'll be in great shape. Overall, the Spider clocked in with a time of 3 hours, 20 minutes, and 38 seconds, which puts it out of Samurott and Braviary's under 3 hour tier. Our sample size is still pretty small, so I can't say if this run is good or not, but I have a feeling it's going to be tough to take that number 1 spot from Samurott. Maybe our next contender will. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that like button down below and subscribing to the channel. It really helps out and it'll make sure you don't miss the next run. Also, be sure to comment down below what Pokemon you'd like to see next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.